I'm one of those rare birds. I'm a native Austinite. Was born and lived here all my entire life, other than a brief stint in the U.S. Army. Any luck? 3, woo! We used to say, well, if you wanted to stay in Austin, which everybody wanted to, you could either go to work for the government, you could sell real estate or insurance, or you could go to work in your daddy's business, and that just about covered it. It's changed a great deal since that period of time. In the early 90s, the downtown in Austin was in very difficult shape.
That's when we had the banking crises. That's when we had the recessions.
Vacancies were high. There was no residential. Retail had left for the suburbs.
It had the Capitol, had the university, but that was pretty much it. So you may come downtown to go to work, but if you needed to run an errand and pick up something, there really wasn't any place to go.
That was one of the symptoms of that Austin experience that led the leadership in the community to say, we really need to do something about this.
I've been here the last few weekends, 6 o'clock in the morning to late at night, because the concern we've had in
some folks say that Austin's doing just fine if we leave it alone.
Downtown is too much of a freeway.
We must be investing money.
I, for one, don't want Austin to turn into Southern California.
And I don't want to let that idea fall by the wayside.
From what I had seen, there were a lot of fights. There were a lot of divisions.
There are these disparate voices that were coming together in conflict, but with no cohesion and no direction that was given to the city.
With that, thank you all for being here, and we look forward to working with you in the future for the betterment of all of Austin.
There was a strong conviction that having a team come and help coalesce all those disparate voices into a single direction might give the city an opportunity to move forward in ways that it might otherwise not be able to do.
Over the past 4 days here in Austin, a team of visiting design professionals and financial experts from around the country have been gathering here in our city, taking a look at downtown Austin. It's a very exciting process. It's called a RUDAT.
RUDAT stands for Regional Urban Design Assistance Team.
The RUDAT report brought in some outside expertise, working with local property owners, the chamber, and some of the city staff, to sit down and come together with substantial recommendations on what it would take to begin downtown revitalization in Austin, Texas.
Thank you, Tom. I'll be happy to do that. The design team that has been with us over the past several days...
I wish I could say that there was that immediate enthusiasm to move forward.
So what? Is this just another study to put on the shelf and gather dust? What happens to this study and these good recommendations?
I read about it in the newspaper, and at the time I thought, here we go again, another study.
So the question then was, what can we do to be sure this is not just another plan?
There was a lot of emphasis on one primary recommendation, and that was to establish a downtown management organization.
That public improvement district was made and now is called the Downtown Austin Alliance.
The creation of the Downtown Austin Alliance was one of the best things that came out of RUDAT.
In effect, that created a body that had structure and budget and time and staff to see to it that those good ideas and those recommendations actually got attention and those were moved forward. But things were not moving as quickly as we all had hoped.
I think part of it is just realizing there are areas where the community isn't in lockstep about what should happen. But we got a champion, and we got a champion in someone who would be our mayor.
One of the things that I said was that Austin has a good downtown, but it didn't have a great downtown. There was this paralysis of fear that the better deal might come along. Somebody might have a better idea. What if I move on that, then somebody might come up with a better idea next year, and oh, we've already gone down that path. I took the position we're not going to be paralyzed by that. The idea was, how do we get people to come into downtown? And so we started exploring the idea of living down here and having retail. The truth of the matter is, I needed help. I needed others to help me figure out what it was that would be best for Austin and to remain uniquely Austin. So we decided that what we would do is we would bring Rudat back.
This evening, we're fortunate to have the original Rudat team with us once again. They've spent the last 24 hours assessing how far we've come and the work that remains to be done.
The city should have a bona fide civic center.
Streets in downtown Austin that could easily be converted to two-way operation.
It is our belief that a 24-hour city with residents downtown will slowly begin to build the retail.
We have Shoal Creek and Waller Creek. They both need to be completed. They need to be restored.
An easy way to walk from one part of Austin to the other.
You've got to get coalitions put together, and you've got to get consensus.
We began to hear a coalescing of an attitude and a commitment to listen to what the process was going to yield that would be a benefit to the city.
Once we laid out the vision, people, this is a creative town, and they embraced the vision. In fact, embraced it so much that we moved real rapidly once we started.
Once that snowball got big enough, then everyone began to see the benefit of what was going to happen.
Things like the 2nd Street Retail District, that was a whole new concept. We talked in terms of an open-air mall where people could walk on wide sidewalks as part of our Great Streets program.
It also creates space for sidewalk cafes, and it starts to bring in more folks because when you see people there, you feel safe, and you want to be part of the activity as well.
So we had businesses and jobs coming downtown, we had residential development, and all of that helped finance the new City Hall.
I can remember a particular developer who said, it'll never happen. And we said, oh, watch us.
Austin, we did good this time. We really are going through so many of the recommendations. Now it's not over.
There continues even to this day things that we would like to have done differently, that we are still working on.
We do have some more work to do, but I think Rudat laid out a good roadmap for us.
I think that is one of the successes of the Rudat program itself. It is making a beginning.